going to speak about the Kedusha of every Jew, the Maila of every individual in Am Yisrael. The Mishnah Sanhedrin says, Kol Yisrael yesh lehem chelek l'olam haba. Every Jew has a share in the world to come. The Imam Mordechai, my father's book, brings down, the Kilas Yaakov brings down, there's a mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem of every Jew. Every Jew needs to sanctify God's name. The minute your forefathers stood on Har Sinai and you accept upon yourself Kedushas Yisrael, the holiness of Israel, that's why every Jew needs to give his life to sanctify God's name. That's our special obligation, which is only found in Israel. That we became slaves to Hashem. We became slave to Hashem. And we gave our body to Hashem. We've been sanctified with the holiness of Israel. And therefore, there's an obligation from the love of Hashem, the mitzvah of loving Hashem, Avas Hashem. Part of mitzvahs Avas Hashem, you should love Hashem with all your soul. So part of loving Hashem, you have to give your life for Hashem. So once we know that every Jew has his Kedusha, and he has a share in the world to come. So now we have to know how to relate to every Jew. Because every Jew has the status of holiness, of a Ben Olam Haba. We see a lot of Jews which are not acting and relating to their status, to the special status that they have. I don't have to relate to them. There's a famous Rambam says, in Ilchos Gerushin, Perek Bes Halachot. Rambam said, one is that the law says that you need to force him to give a divorce to his wife. He doesn't want a divorce. So Beis Din beats him up until he says, I want. And once he says, I want, you write the get and you give the get. And the Rambam says, how can you give such a get? A get by force is not a get. You need to give a get with a free will. So this guy still loves his wife. He doesn't want to divorce her, but he needs to. So the Beis Din beats him up until he says verbally, I want. And then they write the get as a kosher get. The question is how such a kosher get works. When it's oinus, when it's forced, without the dalas, without the knowledge and the agreement of the owners. So you say it verbally, but inside your heart, you don't know what. You got beaten up. So the Rambam tells us a very big foundation in the understanding of a Jew, in the will of a Jew, the essence of the Kedusha of a Jew. So the Rambam says as follows. She'ein oimrim onus, we don't say the concept of oines, elo limi shenelchatz v'nitchak lasois dor she'enu mechuyev min haTorah lasois. It's only when someone is being forced and pressed to do something that from the Torah is not obligated. So then it's considered force. For example, you beat someone to sell, to buy. So according to the Torah, you don't have to buy. It's a free choice. So you get beaten up to do something you don't want, that's called an oinus. Avol, Misha talk for Yitzor, Ara, a Jew that the Yetzirah attacked him. Levatel mitzvah, to cancel a mitzvah. Or lasso saveiro, to do a sin. And he got beaten up, v'uka. Actually also dover shechav lasso, so he got beaten up until you did something which you were obligated to do. Or you got beaten up to distance. Actually, nisrachik midover shosa, so you distance something he's not allowed to do. Ein ze onus mimenu. He is not forced from the beginning. Elahu onas es atzmo. He forced himself b'da'ato in his bad understanding. Again, what's considered an oinus? I don't want, and you beat me, so the beating forced me to do want. But when I'm obligated to do, I need to do it. And you are not forced from it, rather you force yourself with a bad understanding. It says, Nefiko therefore, Zeshe no hoitze legaresh, me'achar shu hoitze liyos mi Yisrael. It's very important. This guy that doesn't want a divorce, but we know him generally, he wants to be part of the Jewish nation. Roitzu lasos kol ha-mitzvos. He wants to do all the mitzvahs. V'lisrachik min ha'averos, and distance himself from the sins. V'yitzro yusha tokfo. But his Yetzirah grabbed him, attacked him. V'keivan shehu kantu, since he got beaten, ad shetoshash Yitzro, until his Yetzirah became weak. V'omar roitze, he says, I want, gvar giresh lirtzoinoi, therefore he divorced for his free will. Which means, we say, what is the true will? The inner true will of a person is to fulfill what you obligate according to the law. Just the Yitzhak prevents you. So the Allah didn't attack you, the Yitzhak attacked you. So therefore, since an attacking is a force of the Yitzhak, once you bend the clashing, the Yitzhak, Mimela, by itself, you clarify your true will to do the will of Chacham, the will of the Torah. Let's talk about universal morals and ethics, universal morals and ethics. For example, without the Torah telling us you're not to murder or to steal or to honor your father and mother, everybody knows you're not to steal, not to murder. Is something wrong not to honor your parents? Those things a man feels in the inner being, those are true, proper morals and ethics. Same thing is here. Every Jew in his inner being understands, or he has the understanding, that truly he wants to do the mitzvahs that God commanded him. Even though they are not mitzvahs which make sense, but a Jew wants to do Hashem's, the Creator's will. So therefore, what really is bothering him is Yetzirah. So once you beat up the Yetzirah, his true will comes in. The Beis HaLevi and Drushim, Drush Tesvav tells us a very big chidush, Nifla Lemoid. Says, what's the pshat in Chazal? The Gemara in Sanhedrin, page Kuf Hei Amud Beis says, Le'oilom, always a man yasod batoiro b'mitzvos afilu shelo lishmo. A man shall learn Torah in the yeshiva even not for the sake of understanding. Shemitoich shelo lishmo bo lishmo. For within, not lishmo, will come lishmo. Which means, he says, the explanation of this is not that if a person would learn 10 or 20 years, not lishmo, and within is this, he will come on to learn Torah lishmo. No, that's not the pshat. The pshat really is that every Jew has a mixed feelings. Right now, you have a part of you not lishmo with interest, and you have a part of you lishmo. And within lishmo, you come to lishmo, which means like the Rambam says, you bribe, you beat up the Yetzirah through the lo lishmo to reveal the lishmo part in you. This is the Beis HaLevi. Same way the Rambam says you beat up the Yetzirah to your inner will, true will, to be a Jew and follow Hashem's mitzvahs comes out. Same thing is here. Every Jew wants to learn Torah lishmo, to do mitzvah lishmo. The Yetzirah prevents him. He has interest. He wants to gain this. He wants to gain that. So what do? You want to get money, when they get honor, power, influence, gotta be a leader, Rosh Hashiva, who knows what. So there's no difference if Bezin forces you, the Beis Halevi says, through affliction, to bend the Yetzirah, or a man bends his own Yetzirah. How? You think about Gehenna, you think about affliction, or you seduce the Yetzirah by honor. If I learn Torah, I will gain, the rabbi will love me, my mother, my parents will love me, I'll get a good shidduch, I'll get this, I'll get that. So you bribe Yetzirah, you bend your Yetzirah to do your true will. And that's what it means. Lo'olam yasok oilam b'Torah shelo lishmo shemitoch lishmo ba lishmo, which means through learning Torah shelo lishmo, which is external reasons, will cause him to learn Torah. Even not lishmo, but it will rise is true inner feeling to do the will of Hashem, and the lishmo will come out. It's a very big chiddush. So when a guy walks into yeshiva, and I know he's looking for a bed, he's looking for stability, he's looking for shidduch, he's looking for who knows what, for internal things. I know that. He knows it himself. It's okay. Why? Because it's the same idea. It's just a means, a way to bribe the Yetzirah to reveal your true inner feeling that you want to do the will of Hashem or Torah Lishma. So therefore we don't fight it. It's just a way, same thing with Bezin beats you up, or you beat up Yetzirah by bribing it. It's the same thing, same idea. But you have to have that in mind. That's the difference. If you cheat yourself and you just focus on the Lo Lishma, so you stay with Lo Lishma. But if you recognize, you acknowledge that you have 2 points, you have two machines, 2 systems in your body, and you're in the being. One is you Kesusha Yisrael in the Shama. Muhammad Sinai, you became a Jew in Bezdin, and when you became a Jew in Bezdin, Chatzimon says what happens in Bezdin when you become a convert. The 3 Dayonim together brings down the Shechina, because when there's a Bezdin Shechina, they transfer the Shechina from the Bezdin to the person who went to the mikveh. Even though when he goes to the mikveh, there's only 2 Dayonim, but it's a Maisa Bezdin. Before that and after, the Kabbalah Mitzvahs in front of Bezdin. So therefore, it's part of Kedushas Yisrael, Kabbalah's Bezdin, and he gets the Kedushas Yisrael transfer from the Eloikim that stands in Bezdin, that transfer to the Jew. So what does Kedushas Yisrael means? Which means every Jew has an internal Rotzon Amiti, true will to mekayim the mitzvahs, to mekayim the Torah. Just the Yetzirah prevents you, mix you up. The question is, how every Jew is going to get to his Olam Haba and his Kedusha. And we know it's not enough to have her inner will to do the mitzvahs. So the Mishnah says in Sanhedrin, Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek l'mado. Every Jew has a share in the world to come. And they bring down a pasuk in Yeshayahu, Ve'amech kulam tzadikim le'olam yeshuaretz. Your nation, all of your nation are righteous, and all of them will inherit the next world. Netzer mata'ai ma'aseh yadai litpael. The question is, the end of this pasuk means the creation of my plants, on my work of my hands to be proud, Hashem says. My seyodai lispoel is not only a Jew. Every goy in the world, Hashem created goy in the world, is my seyodai Hashem, is the action of the hands of Hashem to be proud of. Every man is a my seyodai of Hashem. And that already gives a schus, a merit to be established and to be part of the world. The Gemara says in a few places in Megillah and Soita, and when there was Kriyas Yamsuf, when On one side, the Jewish people were walking in the dry land in the sea. On the other side, the Egyptians were falling into the water, drowning in the water. The angels wanted to sing a song to Hashem. So Hashem says to the angels, my work of my hands are drowning. My work of my hands are drowning, you singing songs. Which means even the lowest Egyptians that went against Hashem and didn't appreciate the revelation of Hashem in the world. And the story behind the story was the money. But they ran after the money and they went against Hashem. And now they're drowning and Hashem is saving the Jewish people. And Hashem tells the angels, Maloch HaShores, hey, how can you sing songs? Should be a sad time, a loss of Hashem's creation. Because every creation in the world, every creature in the world is Maaseh Yodav Shakash Baruch Hu, is the work of the hands of Hashem. He has a tzelem Elohim, image of God. So we have to know what is the special value of a Jew, a Ben Yisrael. The Pasuk tells us, V'amei, in your nation, kulam tzadikim, all of them are righteous. Lo ilo min shueret, zayvoy mabo. A Jew has kedusha, all righteous, and avoy lo mabo. And then it says, work on my hands and be proud. That's even a goy. So the Medrash brings down. This is the Medrash. I'm reading now all this from Sefer Imre Mordechai, my father's book. The Medrash says an example for a king which had children were not proper. They weren't walking in the ways of the king wanted. So the king told him, you know what? Take off your clothing that nobody would see that you're prince, that you're a princess, and wear simple clothing. Take it off. Because while you wearing it, you're disgracing the kingdom. King Charles, I forgot the name, this not long ago. So the son of the king, if you whatever, one of the children, one of the princes. He says, I don't want to be any more in the family. He says, okay. He signed it off and don't wear any more clothing of the king. They made a settlement with him and they take off your clothes.
I think this is Prince Harry.
Prince Harry. Okay. That was his name. After a while, they wanted to come back to the king. Hey, not so green outside. So when they came back, the Midrash says, the king says, Omar Amelech, the king says, Alolu einam bonai, those are not my children. Hey, Abba, Grandpa, we are here. You want to come back? They're outside in the gate. The father says, they're not my children. They're not wearing like the children of the king. And they don't act like my children. So they told the king, how can you deny us? Look at your picture, how do you look, and see us, and you will see that our features, we are similar to you, we are children. Chazal say this is a mashal for the Jewish people. When the Jewish people sin and they act like the goyim, they act not like the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells them, take off the clothing. The Torah, take off the noble clothing. And what are the noble clothing? Is the learning Torah and the new mitzvahs, not the levushim. Like the Zohar HaKodesh said that the mitzvahs called levushim. La neshama v'chaluki derabanan. The mitzvahs are clothing and a garment. Chaluki derabanan. But we want to come back to Hashem. So that we don't care what they're wearing or not. When a Jew wants to do tshuva, he comes and he knocks at an Ashby Yeshiva's door. We have to have a lot of doors here. Yeah, and they knock on the door. And they say, hey. Where are your children? He says, you're not wearing clothes, you have long hair, no kippah. Your But then the Mitzvah is the reality that the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu has mercy on them, and he brings them back and he guards them. Which means a Jew has a special madrega more than any other actions of creation of Hashem. The Jewish people are standing in the level of Kedushas Yisrael. Since we stood on Har Sinai, or you went in Beis Din and we toivel Hashem Kedushas Yisrael to be a Jew, we accepted this Kedushas Yisrael upon us. And that's part of the essence of every Jew. That even in a time when they don't wear the clothing of the king, they don't do Torah mitzvahs, but the essence, the picture, the same features, the essence are the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What's the depths of this concept? The Jewish people have two eichuyois v'agdoris. They have two qualities and definitions. Number one, we are the nation of Hashem. Hashem put his name on us, and we are his nation. So we took off his clothes, but we still his children to his nation. So number one is we are nation of Hashem. Number two, we are the children of Hashem. The nation of Hashem is only when we do the will of Hashem, when we wear the clothing. But when we don't follow the will of Hashem, so we take ourselves out of Am Yisrael, but still with the children of Hashem with the same features. We have our essence, we want to do the will of Hashem. And getting out of this definition or the quality of children of Hashem, a Jew can never get rid of. Even a convert. He converted, and then he wants to become a goy. He eats treifas, nevelas, he marries a goya. Doesn't help. He's still the children of Hashem. He's a child of Hashem. He's not wearing the clothing of the prince or the nation of Hashem. Mamleches, koyani, the goy's kodesh. He's not wearing the children, the clothing of the kingdom of priests. We are nation of Hashem, the kingdom of priests. All of us are priests. And we took off our clothes. No. But you're still children of Hashem. So now, when the Mishnah says, the Jewish nation, all of the nation are tzaddikim, all of them are oilom mabel oilom yirshu eretz, they always inherit the land. My seyodai spoil the work of my hands to be proud of, because Am Yisrael, they're not only a nation of Hashem, because the nation of Hashem is only when they act like a nation of Hashem. But the children of Hashem, we're always going to be. And that's the work of our hands, is to be proud. So when the angels wanted to sing Shira, he said, also the Goyim are the Maisi Yodam of Hashem. But we are Maisi Yodam of Bonim Shel Hashem. And they're not Bonim. We are the work of the hands of the children of Hashem. With different Akdor, Kedushas Yisrael. And that never goes away. Even though we take off our clothing, a noble clothing, the essence still stays. So that's why, when a person doesn't want to do mitzvahs, so who's really attacking him? The Yetzer Hara. So you beat up the Yetzer Hara. You want to do the mitzvahs. This parasha, Parshas Mishpatim, this is the Gemara. This parasha, Parshas Mishpatim, says Ve'ela Mishpatim Udorov. Mari Shoyin Messina is also Messina. This is Messina. This was said in Messina. Hashem gave us rules and regulations. How do we act when we damage? All our Paul Babakam is here. Shoil, Boil, Mave, Hever, Keren, Shen, Regel, all this is here. Damaging to people. Choyvel Bodam. What was that our parasha? Parshas Mishpatim. How do you take care of Omo, Eved? How do you sell your daughter when you give her rights of daughters, the parents, minimal, maximum? It tells you the relation between man and man. That's the levushim. That's the wear we wear. How do we dress like the children of Hashem, the princes, by wearing the clothing, doing the mitzvahs? Chalukah de Rabbanon Levushim, doing the Torah mitzvahs. And that's what gives us Mamleches Koyanim, we become kingdom of priests. But when we don't do the mitzvahs, we do Averas, so then it's taking off. So now when you see another Jew, how are you going to relate to another Jew? You see a Jew that's not religious, or he doesn't want to listen to Chachamim, is Ami Beitzo Yish'al, Umaklo Yagid Lo, Kol HaMeiken Lo Yogid Lo. He found his ways and he learns the Torah for his benefits. And he doesn't have the truth following, guiding him. Rather, his emotions change the truth for his desires. So he can be a Ben Torah in yeshiva, can wear black and white. But he's following his own desire. He doesn't have the truth balance him and direct him, and he changes his emotions according to the truth, like we spoke about Lavan. Lavan ran after Yaakov. Yaakov told him, I ran away because you wanted to steal everything. He says, no, I will lead you with songs, with like 4 types of weddings. Beshirim, betoiv, bechoilois, ubechinoim. Alba minei simcha, I made you 4 weddings. When you got married to 2 of my daughters and 2 of my maidservants, 4 weddings I did for you. So I will send you like 4 weddings. He's a robber. For 21 years he robbed them alive. 100 times, I said this morning. 10 times 10. He changes wages and stories. And what Lavan answers him? Kol asher lecho shelihu, abonai bnoisai, abonai, everything is mine. So he can't talk to him. So Yaakov decides to make peace with him, even though he's a true man. He Yaakov, and he makes a meal, he makes a tree with him. As a true man, he decides that's the right thing. So he does. He changes his emotions towards truth. He changes his emotion towards truth. That's the idea of a Jew. A Jew knows what's the truth. He has Yitzchak. He's been attacked by Yitzchak. So what do? Chazal tells us, if you know what menuvel means, menuvel means a dirty person. I don't know the exact translation. If the Yitzchak attacked you, mashchil lebeis hamikdash, drag him to the beis hamikdash. What beis hamikdash will do to you? Because when we sit and learn, you have to cancel all your desires outside and just sit alone to focus, to understand. You might sit and learn in order to give some bribery to Yitzchak, but you have to arouse your inner Kesusha, to bribe the Yitzchak and stay with your inner being. So when you pull yourself into beis medrash, what happens to the menuvel, to the Yitzchak? He leaves you alone, and then you're able to perpetuate and become strong the other parts of you, the inner part of you. So there's no other way. The only way to make your MS drive you and not the Yitzchak and emotions deceive you and bend your truth, your inner truth that you know really and you really know and understand, is only with a Spanish. So only when a person would study in the yeshiva day and night, maybe he has maybe he has a chance to do the right things. But if he's not a beis medrash, there's no chance. It's all so strong. There's no chance that you're going to follow and have the light, the leading light to you, the truth. It doesn't work. Because you're going to deceive and move around the truth. The Gemara in Masechet Pesachim says that there was a shaila, if I go to a place where people don't do work and have Pesach, or certain places they don't sell be'ein modaka, sheep, small animals in Eretz Israel. Strong animals, big be'ein mogasa, you're not allowed to sell because goy will do meloch on Shabbos, will do mechaber, you're not allowed to sell. Be'ein modaka depends on the meaning of the mokum. So one of the Amoraim went and he asked, could I do it or not? And he basically learned that he's not allowed. But he asked another rabbi, and the other rabbi told him, yes, he's allowed. You're allowed to follow the place that permitted. So Rabbi Yosef said to this rabbi, Ami be'etzo, Korei ale Rabbi Yosef, Ami be'etzo yish'al, nun beis nun beis. Ami be'etzo yish'al, umaklo yagid lo. My nation will ask his wood, is like a getchke of the Zohar, and his stick, kind of a voodoo, kind of a charm, will tell him. But he darshan is maklo from the language of makelu. Kolameikelo yogilo. Anyone that is leaning to you, right away you're jumping in. Because your emotions, you are searching to be lenient. So you were searching for, you know the truth that is not true, you can't do it. You were searching, you found a rabbi in Lakewood, or there, the permits, you see some rabbis, it's allowed. So the starting point was, you wanted to be lenient on yourself. You weren't searching for the truth, and working in the sugya depths, or not. You were searching for a lenient rabbi, a rabbi that permits. Why? Because you have a preconceived ideas, what's the right thing to do, not as far as halachic ways. How different, you heard it in the internet, you heard it in the radio, you heard this and that, you have fears, vaccine, you will die, this. You have preconceived ideas. So then what? You're just searching for rabbi, collecting rabbis that will assure your fears and your ideas. Anyone who's leaning to you, Yogi Loi says, okay, thank you, you could have told me. You are lenient, you told me, you're my rabbi now. You're searching for your thing. So you can be a yeshiva guy, a learning guy. You're not following truth. You're not searching for truth. What are you doing? You're collecting stamps. My father used to say, collecting stamps. You're collecting stamps to approve your ways, what you say is true, or what you think is true. Instead of working on the sugya, or the sugya tells you, is the chachomim. Which chachomim? Doi lado. Maybe he didn't say it. So go and ask him. If you really fear Hashem, go to the Gdoi lado and ask him yourself. You have a problem, ask him a problem. Why? Maybe see what they answer you. No. You don't want to ask because you're afraid to be told wrong. So you're collecting those stamps of freak rabbis, who knows what. I'm not saying for you that they're an idea and a concept now. I'm just picking up an idea of vaccine, but it's really general.
We also have another Benetoiro, some is a different billion.
Everything is true. I'm not talking about concept. I just brought an example. But yeah, I'm talking about the cheshbon hanefesh.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the cheshbon hanefesh. We're talking about Musar here, not the reality. The Musar is the cheshbon hanefesh. You have to do cheshbon on yourself. What's really driving you? You cannot cheat. You can cheat me, cheat your friend, your wife. You can't cheat Hashem. What really is driving you? What? I remember you used to have a guy in yeshiva that I told him he has to learn yeshiva. And he had a big drive to learn Kabbalah. Okay. I told him, don't go. He says, no, but as I said, okay. So why, when you learn to yeshiva, you fall asleep? And when you run to learn Kabbalah, you get up in the morning, you have all the energy. It means you're not really learning to add more to your learning. You do what you want. And you're just collecting stamps. It's not Yiras Shamayim. It's a fake. It's a baloney. It's not true Yiras Shamayim. This is a big lesson for all of us. Everyone is on cheshbon hanefesh. You have to do. What really drives you? What really? So what do we learn from the Beis HaLevi? The Beis HaLevi says, you're right. Did I tell this guy to leave the Kabbalah? No. Because there's only a way to bribe his Yitzchak. But he has to know the truth. He can't fake himself. I'm a tzaddik. You're not a tzaddik. You're collecting stamps. But in your mind, you have to know that you're not. And you have to appease your Yitzchak in order to arouse you lishma. So the Kabbalah is not lishma. You're looking to look voodoo, that people give you cover, that you know the secrets and this and that, but before you know the whole Shas, how can you know the secrets of getting all Shas? You know Shas about baby Shnais, say Fini, say Four. We're not holding there. No, there's that. Okay, you have your own svara, your thing, you think you're Chacham. Good. Or your drive. Your drive is not a pure drive, but it's okay. As long that when you're learning Lo Lishma, you want to get to Lishma. And you know that you're learning Lo Lishma. You're not faking yourself that Lo Lishma is Lo Lishma. That's okay. That's the idea. Mitoch Lo Lishma Ba Lishma, it's only when you know it's Lo Lishma Lo Lishma. And you work on yourself to beat up Yitzchak, to bribe Yitzchak, you get Lishma. But when you say that the wood is a chair and the chair is a wood, so you never get there. You're cheating, deceiving yourself. Maybe you will get there eventually. Maybe Moshe will the light will do it to tshuva, maybe. It's very hard to change because you never know what's the true reality. You never know the true reality is a fake and baloney. You work to collect stamps. So that's the idea. It's very big Muslim. Very big Muslim. All of us learn from this. Hashem gave us a bracha to work on truth. That Tita Nemes Leyakum. Truth should be our leading factor. And we should change our emotions and follow the truth. Which is. Rabbi Hanania ben Akashya.